Hey everybody, you can't learn photography on YouTube? Is that for real? Did you know that? Is this wrong? Let's talk about that. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I'd love to talk about that, have a serious in-depth discussion, or we can just have silly fun, and I could really use some help with the likes and subscribe so my YouTubes get up in the algorithm and all that, but that's not my main purpose. My main purpose of this channel is to learn and to try to do more, try to learn from making mistakes, and this is a perfect subject for what I'm trying to do. So let's talk about that, let's get engaged. Please subscribe, it'll help out a lot. Like, dislike, prefer the likes over the dislikes. These are good. Those, not so good. I don't know why I had to use a different hand. It seems appropriate somehow. So today I watched a video by Tony and Chelsea Northrup. I don't know if I said that right. So today I watched a video on YouTube by Tony and Chelsea Northrup called "You Can't Learn Photography on YouTube" with an exclamation point. I named my video "You Can't Learn Photography on YouTube" with a question mark. Because I was like, what? No, this is a real question. A lot of people want to learn things on YouTube. People learn everything from woodworking, how to use resin, how to do different types of painting styles, and all kinds of different things on YouTube. Why wouldn't YouTube be a great way to learn almost anything, let alone photography? Well, there are lots of reasons why you might not want to get into learning. And don't take it from me. I'm not a professional. I never went to school for photography. I took some media classes, and I was more into videography, and I have a lot of video stuff. But photography is obviously a really interesting thing to me as well. I can't tell if this thing's in focus. Today I'm using my GH5S. Sorry for the digression here. I'm using my GH5S with a 30mm Sigma, and I have it on autofocus. And I don't know why I'm doing this. I just figured I would try it out. So excuse me if it's going in and out of focus a little bit. I just wasn't thinking. I was too lazy to set up my app. Done with the digression for now. Until I've come up with a few more as I'm talking, like this one right here. So I'm just gonna refer to my notes for a second. There was one thing, somebody wrote like an email to Tony Northrup, said that he learned Photoshop, Lightroom, and everything you could possibly learn from photography on YouTube. It's without a doubt possible to learn everything off just YouTube videos. That's what this guy said. I don't think that's verbatim or anything, but you get the gist of it. He pretty much got all of his skills from YouTube. So a lot of people claim, like I've even seen some videos that claim that they can teach you 80% of photography, of everything you need to know about photography in just 10 minutes. And that's kind of silly, I think. I think it seems, as Tony pointed out, that he's still learning, and a lot of his knowledge comes from just the years of things happening and expertise and getting out there and doing and stuff like that. There are a lot of things you can learn in YouTube videos, but a great point that they both make is that it's kind of like learning a few tricks here and there, a few tips here and there. Like I have a lot of videos with tips on how to use a GH5. I'm no professional, but I can find tips and I can find little tricks and tips and stuff like that of how to use a camera. I can learn how to use it, like the menu a little bit better than somebody else maybe, or I might spend more time getting into exactly why a lens works or something like that. Like Gerald Undone knows a lot about all kinds of subjects when it comes to, well, pretty much, you name it. But the guy will get in depth, he'll learn about everything about it, and then he'll make a video that's comprehensive and in depth, and will teach you everything about that one subject. Now that's hardly a tutorial, really. He's not, he's trying to inform us. He's trying to maybe help us, guide us onto a certain path and get us away from certain bad habits and stuff like that. But to actually learn something in a structured environment, as Tony and Chelsea Northrup point out, can have a huge benefit compared to just taking subjects randomly, all willy-nilly, as you're interested in them, so to speak. But on the other hand, that can also go a long way, especially if you just need to know something on the fly. Say you're not a professional and you just need to know how to do something, then that's great. You can just look up how to get great bokeh from a cheap lens or whatever, you know what I mean? Will my lens even work for bokeh? On all kinds of questions, and you can learn a lot of things for sure on YouTube. You don't have to be a professional. And that's kind of the point of my whole channel. I'm not a professional, and a lot of people who are watching my channel looking up the videos that are on it probably aren't professionals, but they might have a couple professional items. Maybe they want to know how to use it better, and maybe they'll want some tips on what other professional things to buy, or, you know, can I do this without professional things? Is there, you know what I mean? And that's great. That's, you know, for people who aren't doing it as a trade, people who are doing it as a hobby, or people who, you know, are just mucking around with things here and there, you know what I mean? And that's that kind of brings me to another point. Like, when you think you know everything you need to know about photography, and you think that you can teach somebody that in 10 minutes, there might be something wrong with you. I don't actually believe that these videos, the people who are making them actually believe that they know everything about photography and they're gonna be able to teach it to you in 10 minutes. That's very clickbaity. It's definitely comes down to the fact that they want their videos to be in the algorithm, you know what I mean? They're making videos that are over 10 minutes on purpose so that their videos will get recognized more, because YouTube algorithm likes longer videos. And you know what? Educational videos tend to be a little bit longer. It takes a little longer to explain something. And a lot of times, even if it's not a very in-depth subject, they can just find ways to stretch it out through entertainment, like I do. I always make digressions and I'm always doing this or that, because honestly, I'm more interested in entertainment than I am in actual telling people about photography and stuff like that. And that's all part of it. I want to learn myself, and learning everything and then making a video helps me learn even better, because I'm going through the information that many more times. So it's sticking in this wooden block up here. You know what I mean? It's cramming right in there. Oh my God, it hurts sometimes. Just starts swelling up, you know what I mean? Like a big boil inside your head. Not that I know that much. So a lot of it just keeps falling out anyway. Coming in here and then going out, bing, right up there. It's gone. Feels kind of good when it goes sometimes. You know, you just let back and whew, let it ride, baby. Just want to be stupid sometimes. But you don't know what you don't know. You just don't know what you don't know. How can you know what you don't know? So when you think you're done learning, there are lots of things that you don't know. But no, it's serious though. I mean, you don't know everything about everything. So that's a kind of obvious point there by Tony and Chelsea Northrup. Chelsea kept bringing that up. But it's a great point that a lot of people overlook. You don't know what to look up sometimes. How do you know what to learn? There are some fundamental things that you should probably learn first. There's like a hierarchy, an order of what to learn. You should probably know how ISO, shutter speed, and all that affects your image, like in a fundamental way first. And those are good things to understand. I'm not about to go into that right now. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a massive professional or anything, but those are things that I took care of first. And I wanted to take video seriously, so I tried to figure out, what is a shutter speed? How is it going to affect my image? What kind of shutter speed do I need for moving images? And Gerald Undone has excellent videos, and he'll show you how shutter speed in various forms, various frame rates, and whether you're panning the camera back and forth or not, how that will affect your image. And those are all like perfect things to know. You don't know what you don't know. I didn't know that stuff. I had no idea until I watched that video. I kind of wish I had have went to school and learned a lot of the stuff that I'm learning just on YouTube in a haphazard fashion. I might have had a faster start in video production or photography or whatever it is. If you go through a more channeled approach where everything is streamlined and you're learning your fundamentals and basics and you build on that, you can kind of do it in a timely fashion too, because there's like a forced sort of curriculum, you know what I mean, that you have to follow, or else you won't pass the grade and move on to the next course or whatever. But all that just makes sense if you think back to school. You don't learn the hardest math tricks first. You have to learn the fundamentals. You learn bed maths and the things that help you get through to the bigger problems later on. It doesn't make sense to go into the hard algebra, and it's not necessary to go into the physics of objects in motion or something like that, like any Newtonian laws of physics, before you learn what 2 + 2 is. I know that's a really simplistic way to describe it, but it's pretty apt. Why would anybody want to learn in a haphazard way in the first place? Why would somebody like me want to, you know, just learn wherever, like picking a video at random or searching up a video and learning it? Well, I kind of just went through that. A lot of the reasons are like, it's too expensive to go to school, too expensive to buy books. It's not very convenient either for time. If you have to be like scheduled at, you know, Wednesdays at 7 o'clock in the evening, or whether it's a daytime class, you can do it at your leisure on YouTube. But if you're really serious about it, then you should probably try to schedule yourself. Take it a little more seriously if that's what you're into, you know what I mean? And maybe even just spend a little bit of money on maybe taking some online courses just to keep you progressing at a fast pace, if that's your goal. If your goal is to just do videos randomly like I'm doing and learn at a snail's pace, then just look up things as you need to. You know what I mean? You don't need to absolutely learn everything all at once. If you're not out there shooting weddings and getting commercial jobs constantly and stuff like that, then you probably don't need to learn everything absolutely at once if that's not your goal. You can learn things at your own pace. That could still be your goal, and maybe that's a goal for 10 years from now. But you want to definitely make sure you don't miss anything important. So maybe take a somewhat structured approach if you're going to do that. Another thing that Tony pointed out is that YouTube tends to show a lot of videos that are more recent. When he said that, I kind of looked around my YouTube feed, and I kind of noticed that isn't necessarily true on my feed anyway. I noticed a lot of videos seem to be from even within the past 3 years. I'm not seeing a lot, you know, beyond that, so maybe there's a bit of a limit to what their algorithm is showing you. Every now and then I'll see something from like 10 years ago that's photography related. That's the other thing he points out. They tend to show you things based on other videos that you've clicked on, like whether or not it's a title or just a subject interest. Maybe all their tags that they're putting into it kind of are guiding your YouTube algorithm for what they think you want to watch of other people's videos. So that's something to consider too. But when he was talking about that, one thing that occurred to me really is that I end up just searching for things. But then he also points out that a lot of things that the search algorithm is showing you is still based on what your click habits are. So they're still gonna push you in a certain direction, whether you like it or not, whether you're searching or just haphazardly landing on videos. But I feel like searching still is gonna get you a lot closer to where you wanna go. If you search for photography basics on YouTube, then you're gonna find a bunch of videos that are in photography basics. A lot of them may not be exact, a lot of them are gonna be clickbaity, but you know, you can go through a few of them and use your discretion and find out which one is suitable for your learning experience. I don't know if you'll find very many of mine suitable for your learning experience, because I'm trying to learn too, but, you know, people don't necessarily understand that learning a few photography tricks won't teach you photography, which is a great point that they make. Like, a lot of people seem to think that once they go in and learn a few things that maybe they might be a professional photographer. I don't know if that's true or not. You can leave a comment down below and let me know if you think that's it. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not saying any of this stuff is true or false. I'm being heavy devil's advocate for both sides. And I learned on YouTube, but I also learned some stuff from professionals without going to school and stuff, just by working, getting out there and doing. And I think that's definitely a great way. It can be awfully embarrassing if you're out there doing stuff professionally and you don't know something though. So you definitely want to make sure you know what you're doing before you go out there and get a job professionally, because that could come to bite you in the butt and you'll be butthurt. The algorithm could also pull you from your education by giving you misleading videos that aren't necessarily into what you were trying to do. And they could pull you into a different direction just from entertainment or clickbait type things as well. So there's that to consider as well. And how does a student exactly know where to learn to start too? School and a more structured learning environment can also help you with that. If you're not exactly sure where to start, what aspect of photography or videography you're looking to get into, what you really need, to start. A lot of people find they can just use cell phones or whatever, I've made videos like that. And, what kind of knowledge do you need? What kind of, do you need to know a lot about shutter speed and ISO and what type of lens and all that? It depends on what level you're going into, because a lot of people just use phones and stuff like that nowadays. And a lot of that stuff's automatic. So it really depends on what you're doing. How do you know where to start? A lot of schools, a lot of professors, they'll tell you. They'll say, you should start right here. And you can start right there and then go from A to B to C to D to D. And you'll find that things move along very smoothly if you'll do that. And if you don't do that, then you may have, if you learn something out of order, then, you'll be backtracking a little bit. You'll be wondering why it's like this. If you start from the beginning, then a lot of the times you'll understand things a little bit better. So what was one of the other things they were talking about? A lot of it's like not really meant to learn, but more for entertainment. A lot of the really good basic stuff can be kind of boring and not entertaining. And there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of the stuff that you really need to learn, you know what I mean? Like a lot of that to get good chops in photography. I don't know what the hell that means, but if you need build good chops for your photography, whatever, then you need to do a lot of good learning. You gotta learn, like chopping onions all day or something like that. And there's probably a lot to that. I think you need to kind of get out there and do, You're not gonna be able to take the information that you learn unless you go out and do it. And there's a lot to that. But learning in a structured environment still comes down to having all your ducks in order, all your geese flying in a V. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. All of my ducks are in order. Chewy, crispy, clean bokeh of the Sigma 30mm is teaching me that I think it's a little overexposed or something. And you can see the little square right here of the one light in the background. I'm not enjoying that. Maybe I should get rid of that. Oh yeah, how's that? How's that, baby? You still see a tiny bit of it, actually. Playing around. I'm learning on YouTube. That's what the video is about. This thing's not focusing very well. I don't know what's going on. Is there not enough light? Do you like my face better like this? Smooth and dreamy, like a dream, like a dream, like a soap opera queen. You can see my guitar though. Well, not anymore. Oh, you ruined it. So in total, yeah, I think that basically what it comes down to is that on YouTube, it's hard to get a comprehensive, sort of structured, timely education unless you work at it, find a whole bunch of videos and schedule yourself and be really serious about it. You'll have to make sure that you're learning everything. Maybe even you could download a curriculum from somewhere else, like a school or something like that. There might be a way to find someone else's curriculum and sort of find videos that match that and make yourself a schedule, and you could learn that way. I think I might make a future video series where I try something like that. I'm not going to commit to it, but I'll just say it right here and right now, and then I'll feel good about it, and so will you. Maybe you will, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up right here. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about any of those things. Like, do you feel like a lot of these videos are just for entertainment? Do you think they're just clickbait? Are they useful at all? Do you feel like YouTube learning is basically good for projects or like for good in-depth career decision-making type things, you know what I mean? Is YouTube a solid learning platform? Can it work for you at all whatsoever? Let me know down in the comments. Give me a big old like, subscribe to my channel because I'm worth it, and don't forget how much I freaking love all of you. Whew, all this serious talking is almost giving me a headache. I need some sort of kangaroo to jump in on the scene and make things silly or something. Pick up my guitar and start bashing it. Wah!